Hello and welcome to Qsports. I am Umutu Gajaga and thank you very much for joining us. Tonight, the latest about Gambia's latest international friendlies. Their match against Guinea, which was meant to be played today, has been cancelled because 9 of the Guinean players have tested positive for COVID-19, plus other players in their camp who are injured as well. So literally, they don't even have a full 11 to play against the Gambia, according to the latest reports. We'll bring you some communications from the Gambia Football Federation, and also on tonight's sports, the Cobra, the Black Cobra, that is Tijan Kebe, a Gambian based in Sweden and doing boxing, has won one of his latest boxing bouts in Germany. We'll also bring you the latest on that. How about Walk for Health? The Brikama Walk for Health chapter marked their 1-year anniversary, and we'll bring you some little highlights of that as well. All that on tonight's Qsports. Welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm Umudu Gajaga. Tonight's show, we're talking about the Gambia's international friendly as they join the rest of the world in doing their warm-up matches to get their team in shape in order to get into the qualifying series of the Africa Cup of Nations, which is due for next month, and they will play Gabon twice. They had their first one last Friday on the 9th against Congo-Brazzaville, and they won by a 0-0, a goal scored by Azen Cisse in the second half. And they were meant to play the second friendly international against the Sili National of Guinea. But guess what happened? The Guinean players, the latest report is that they tested positive, many of them, up to 9 of their players. But according to the Gambia Football Federation, due to this development, it was officially communicated, and because of the fact that these players contracted the virus, now the friendly international with Guinea is not going to go ahead as planned. So it's really leaves the Gambian team now without any option. They would have to come back, resettled again to make sure they're in shape for the Gabon encounter. Coach Amacham is with me in the studio. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and happy to be back to discuss Gambian football and sports in general.
First, we will start about the latest news. That's a Gambia friendly match with Guinea. They're familiar opponents. We've played with them competitively in matches in the AFCON qualifiers and also international friendlies, even last year in Morocco, where the Gambia won by a 0-0. This time around, everything's set. But the COVID-19 pandemic hitting everybody hard, and this match was not also spared.
Yeah, the match was not spared because it's not taking place any longer. The reason being, some of the players from the Guinean team are tested positive of COVID-19, and one of the most popular among them is Naby Keita, who plays for Liverpool, who's also tested positive, making the team lose a key player. A brother to Paul Pogba also is tested positive. So a lot of them were tested positive, and because of that, they communicated that the game is not taking place. But up to yesterday, the Gambian delegations were saying that they were not communicated to officially to say that the match is off. But later in the day, they agreed to say, yes, the match is off because of these reasons. And these were the reasons advanced by the Guinean Football Federation in their communique.
Shouldn't the Gambia Football Federation initially even pulled out once the information was out there and it's from official source of the Guinean Football Federation, or they should have waited until they get the confirmation from them in written that's officially that 9 of our players tested positive with COVID-19, so we can't play this?
I think the Gambia Football Federation did what is right. They should have waited, which they did, to be communicated to. They can take a decision within themselves to say this is what we are going to do, but officially they arranged the game and the game was officially arranged. It's not one part saying we are going to play and the other part say no. but they all agreed to play the game. And because they were not communicated officially, yes, for the Guinean they felt the game can no longer take place, and they decided to call it off on their side. And there was the need for them to make a follow-up communication to the opponents, and I think that's what the Football Federation did. They waited for the communique to say, okay, this is our situation with our team, we can't play, and because we can't play, the game can take place. So I think they did what was right to wait for the communique to come from the Guinean Football Federation. They can have it in them to say, okay, even though we will not play, but it's important to wait for the communique to make it official.
How big a match is for the Gambia this chance of playing against Guinea with all their top players available? Wouldn't they have been a bigger opponent in terms of their national team strength, especially at this time?
I think it was going to be a bigger test. If you watch the game against Congo-Brazzaville, it's been a long time the Gambian national team have dominated a team like that. The score is 1-0. It could have been more than 5 goals because only Hassan, the chances he had, probably he was not on his day. He had a lot of chances to finish, but he did not. But fortunately, he also scored the lone goal. So I think the Gambian team was really dominant. They dominated our opponents, that's Congo-Brazzaville. Now, with Guinea, you would have expected a tougher test, which was good for the national team, and that is what we're missing. Now, the good thing was, if they had played Guinea, they would already know, okay, we have a core of players that we want to use against Gabon. Some played against Congo-Brazzaville. Then we can improve on that and have a steady team that will be in a position to play against Guinea-Conakry in these test games with the objective of looking at the game on the 12th in Gabon and on the 19th in the Gambia. So it's important, even though we had core of the team, that is the starters, the normal starters, most of them were in Portugal to play against Congo-Brazzaville. Yes, we were missing some, but most of the players who are regular in the team were there.
Looking at the team that played in the friendly that you've talked about there against Congo-Brazzaville, is this Noah Maron guy who did fantastically well. You have other players. In fact, 3 players debuted for the national team, and on their debut, it appears they did well, according to some of the reports that we got from Portugal.
I think it's Noah Sonko.
Noah Sonko, rather.
He did extremely well. He played very well. And you would see in defense, he was the only player who came new into the team. Apart from him, all the defenders were players who were playing together for a long time, because you had Buba Sane, you had Omar Koli and Pamodija, the team captain, who were the other 3 defenders, and he was the 4th defender. And in midfield, you had Dada Gom, who always represented the Gambia, normally plays as a right back from time to time, played as a defensive midfield player. Then you had Suleiman Mar and Alassane Mane, Ibrahim Akoli and Hassan Cisse. These were the players on top. Then we have a debutant in Musa Joara, Babukar Gaye and Noha. So I think the core of the team is still intact, and if you listen to the coach most of the time when he talks, he will tell you that he don't want to dismantle his team. He have a core, he have a base that he will always call on, and from time to time bring in players in and take other players out.
It's going to be very interesting to see how the team is going to shape up against Gabon. Now we are talking about literally a month ago before they faced the Gabonese national team away, and then the return leg at home. But overall, a striker like Hassan Cisse, again on the score sheet, even though he should have scored more. And then the Gambia team, like you said, were wasteful at goal. They had so many chances, they squandered. But Hassan, that player, putting on the scoring boot again, he would be needed, of course, to score the goals against Gabon. Likewise, other players.
As an out-and-out striker, the expectation is for him to score goals. But the goals, if the goals are spread in the team, better for the Gambian national team. If he can score and other players can score, that will even lessen the pressure on him. But if anytime he plays, we expect Hassan to score, there will be a lot of pressure on him. So I think it's good for him, it's good for his career that he is scoring goals for the Gambian national team anytime he plays, and kudos to his hard work. He's that striker who works hard, who runs, make defenders, torment a lot of defenders, and when he has opportunities, most of the time he takes them.
And in the African continent, we can also look at some other friendlies which have been played, and even today, some friendly international matches would continue. On that Friday, we had Japan playing against Cameroon 0-0, Kenya, Zambia 2-1, Tunisia, Sudan, which ended 3-0 in favor of Tunisia. But the big match on that day is Mali and Ghana. Mali won 3-0. And this is not a new scoreline. It's basically Mali and Ghana always have been very tough and competitive. And Mali, in certain instances, have been having the edge over Ghana.
Yeah, a lot of people will be surprised that Ghana did not even score a goal. And they lost by 3-0 with a lot of high-profile players on their team. They had the Ayo brothers, they had Thomas Partey, all these players on the Ghanaian team. And Mali also, maybe their players are not that known, but they also have Musa Jenepo, who plays for Southampton in the Premier League. He's one of the hottest flank players in his team, and he does extremely well for Southampton when he plays. So, yes, some would be surprised. Some would say Ghana did not take their chances, or Mali took their chances to win the game.
Adama Traore would be a big miss for Mali. He already played for Spain national team. Do you think he should have chosen Mali?
I think Mali should have known that he have already chosen Spain, because Mali, he had a call-up last window, and he decided to respond to the Spanish call, and he was there. Unfortunately for him, he had COVID-19. He was not in a position to play for Spain. Again, this time Mali called him, and again Spain called him. He decided to go and answer to the Spanish call. Yes, it could be a miss, but at the same time, I think he followed what he thinks is best for him.
And you think he might fall into a situation where you're called into the national team, you play 1-2 matches, and then you're forgotten, maybe due to your performance or sometimes due to other reasons, and then you felt, if I had known, I would have chosen Mali instead of Spain.
It depends on who is the coach of the team. If the coach really, right now, Luis Enrique is the coach, and he really think he needs him in his team, and because he needs him in his team, we always want him to come and play. Now let's hope that the coach who's taking over anytime Luis Enrique leaves will be in a position to be a coach that will want Adama Traore in his team.
In the other friendly international, it's Senegal and Morocco. Senegal, the top-ranked African side, and even globally they're ranked among the top teams. They lost by 3-1. Missing out Sadio Mane there?
No, it's not only missing out Sadio Mane. I think the Senegalese team did not do very well in defending. If you look at the goals they conceded, most of them, there were goals that could have been prevented, especially the third and the third and the second goal. These were goals that could have been easily prevented, even if they had. We could say that they had defenders who were not playing for the team, because Kalidou Koulibaly was not on the team, Salif Sane was not on the team. They had two new centre-backs playing together. But even with that, I think they could have done better. The goals they conceded, these were goals that they could have prevented conceding them. But unfortunately, it did not happen. Morocco was also on their day, because Morocco also have tough players who played for them on that day. They had players who are playing for Inter Milan, Rafael Hakimi, who used to play for Dortmund now in Milan. The striker of Sevilla, he scored one of the goals. So they have top players in their team, and I think Senegal, they always have a problem playing against these North African teams. Yeah, they will win some games, but most of the time they're on the losing side.
The other team, it's Nigeria, Algeria. Algeria running away with that one by 1-0. Nigeria is trying to re-establish their national team, but Algeria is still a top side in African football. They're the champions.
Yeah, Algeria are the African champions, and any team that plays them will have a tough game because they still have the core of the team that won the Africa Cup of Nations, and they still have the same coach, and the team is really motivated, and they are also in a position to get players from who are Algerian descent and were born in European countries, especially France. You look at the talked about player in the English Championship who is expected to move to Southampton. He's of Algerian descent and he was in the team. And I think they have a very good team and they're keeping these players together, also injecting fresh blood from time to time, and the coach know the players, know what he wants anytime he wants to bring new players in.
The other matches, South Africa won Zambia 2. Is it a surprise scoreline there? Because the Bafana, the fans have been complaining for so long, especially in the last two editions of the AFCON, that they've not done well, and in terms of even qualifiers, they struggle to qualify, losing against Zambia.
Yeah, I think South Africa are struggling a lot in African football. One of the reasons is most of what they depend on is their home-based players. If they select a squad, 90% of the players all play in South Africa. And now football is beyond that. You need to look at players who are playing, who are exposed, who are playing in other leagues, especially in the top 5 leagues, to join your team. When they used to have the players like McCarthy, when they had Lucas Radebe, it was difficult to play against South Africa and defeat them. But now, within their region, teams are not afraid to play against them. Teams will feel that anytime we play against them, we can get a result, and they'll go all out to try to get the result.
And Ghana bounced back from that humiliating defeat against Mali, even though it was a friendly. But this time they played Qatar, won 5-1.
Yeah, they played Qatar, who are the Asian champions, and they also lost. They defeated Qatar by 5-1. I think when I followed the game in the first half, especially when Qatar equalized, I thought it was going to be a tough game. But during the second half, the Ghanaian team came out firing on all cylinders, and Andre Ayew was in a position to score 2 goals with other goals from Mensah. So they were in a position to lift their game, not because they lost to Mali, but there was this need for the coach, because this is his first outing with the team, at least to go back to Ghana with some results. They played the first game, he lost. Who was also a midfield player for the team, Charles Akuno, is now the national team coach of Ghana. So there was this need for him to go back to Ghana with some result. And I think the players did justice to him. They did very well for him to get this results.
Away from that, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will be talking about boxing. Tijan Kebe, the Black Cobra, did fantastic over the weekend in Germany when he faced off a Serbian in the boxing ring and won in just 25 seconds. It was a knockout. You will see the pictures, and definitely you will love it. Light heavyweight. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. Now, a little bit of boxing. Tijan Kebe, known to many as the Black Cobra. He is a Gambian who is based in Sweden and doing boxing. He entered the ring on Saturday, and he faced off a Serbian called Dino Hejerovic, and it was in the light heavyweight category, and he won in just 25 seconds. You can see how the fight went about, and reaction from Tijan Kebe.
Out Sweden, Tijan Kebe.
Hello Gambia, here is your boy Tijan Kebe. We are back in Sweden right now, in our gym Angre Boxing Club. So we just want to say thank you guys all for your support you did for us. And then for that, the fight when we went to Germany and we fight very well, and then we did the fight the way we promised we're gonna do it, which is KO. And thanks to you guys all for your prayers and everything you did for us. Like we made the support, So for that, we're gonna say thanks. And the fight was very fast, and we did it the way we planned to do it. It ended up happening in that way. So for that, I wanna say thank you guys all. Ayman, what do you say about the fight?
Yeah, thank Gambia, thanks the fans, wherever you are in this world. We appreciate it. We are back home in Sweden, in our gym. No time to waste. Soon we will start the training. Thank you so much. I'll give you back the stuff, bro. Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Cham, just in 30 seconds, a few words for TJ.
Yeah, I think he's doing very well. I watched some of the programs he had here when he came, when he was on holidays in the Gambia and was trapped by COVID-19 and was training on the beach. I think, yes, he turned professional and he wants to achieve greatness and he's working hard.
He's working hard. And finally, we are going to end with Walk for Health. If you work at least 30 minutes every day, according to some research, it will drastically help you to reduce your chances of having heart disease, hypertension, and some of these problems that we face. Some call them modern disease or non-communicable disease. And Walk for Health Brikama chapter marked their 1-year anniversary on Sunday. You will hear from some of the people who took part how it has really helped them stay healthy.
We have realized a lot of benefits health-wise, physically, mentally, and socially, because it makes us network with people.
Alhamdulillah, jata kende akola fenta ko minta nga start for say mam body mi nele mental l'hôpital sa kon sa fu body la ko be kay rek.
This is purely our health. So basically, this is why the initiators deem it fitting to do this, because we have a lot of old people within our midst, even young people that are now getting high blood and diabetes, etc., which those days is not for kids. All because of some of the food we consume, and then we start to relax too much with cold waters, etc.
However important it is, I'll make sure I walk my walk.
And you've seen the benefits over the years.
It's not only my looks, it's how I feel inside. I cannot tell you the last time I took medication, honestly.
What we did is to look into what form of exercise can we take that would be able to accommodate the elderly, and we feel walking is the one.
Our role in terms of the Brikama Walk for Health chapter is to come and guide them when it comes to the physical aspect, because physical fitness is something that is very important.
On that note, we are saying thank you very much for watching this broadcast. Until we come your way next week, keep on sporting and have a wonderful evening. Bye for now.